OK 啦，嗱，依家開始錄緊啦，應該嗱，咁我哋咧入咗嗰個網站裏邊咧，咁睇下個 app 點用啦。呢個係DSE Paper 4 Speaking Helping Tools 嚟嘅。咁我哋知道 Paper 4 Speaking 咧係分 Part A Group Discussion 同 Part B Individual Response 啦。咁到時考咧就兩個 part 都要考嘅。咁但係我哋嘅 test 咧，你可以淨係 test 一部分，或者應該咧係兩個都做晒嘅。嗱，而家係暫時得 free mode 嘅啫，就冇其他 mode 嘅，所以 discussion 呢度唔使揀噶啦，淨係揀 free modes。Username 咧，如果 log in 咗咧，就唔使再 log in 噶啦。正常嚟講 log in 咗呢度唔使再打嘅，即係可以再打多次。咁下邊咧嗱個 marking scheme 就係 DSE 嘅 marking scheme 啦，我後台 set 咗啦，冇得揀啦。嗱，呢個暫時其實仲有其他嘅，不過我唔 show 出嚟啫。咁我求揀一個啦，因為做 demonstration 咧，做示範，我淨係揀其中一個啦。咁呢個就係可以左邊係 question paper，右邊就係嗰個 discussion interface。嗱 question paper 就係我哋揀咗呢個。嗱，下邊當然仲有其他啦，咁我唔示範晒啦，咪揀呢個啦，我揀 sample one 啦嚇。咁 part A、part B 啦。跟住咧睇個呢度冇問題啦，睇到 question paper 啦，咁就可以 start test 啦。我暫時 set 咗10分鐘。
Hey everyone, so we need to write a proposal for an overseas summer camp like Alex's.
應該係15分鐘嘅，但係我為咗要 demonstrate 咧，就減短啲時間啦。
Students can gain practical skills and improve their English, just like Alex did.
Yeah, and it's not just about academics. Living with people from different cultures really builds independence and teamwork skills, which looks great on university applications too.
We should also mention the challenges, like adapting to a new place and the physical demands. But we can say these are actually good for building resilience.
Yes, summer camp to travel overseas is a very good idea. However, the problem is the financial support. Traveling overseas is very expensive. Besides, we need to consider about the living expense. How to get the financial support? That is the problem.
That's a really good point. In our proposal, we could suggest the school sets up a sponsorship fund or partners with local businesses to help cover costs. Maybe they could offer partial scholarships based on merit or need.
True, the cost is a big hurdle. We could propose a fundraising campaign led by students to show our commitment. Also, maybe the school could start with a smaller, shorter pilot program to test it out first.
Yeah, the cost is definitely the biggest challenge. We should address it directly in the proposal by suggesting fundraising ideas and maybe a tiered payment system. We could also highlight that the long-term benefits for students' futures could make it a worthwhile investment for the school. Maybe we can research some grants or educational trusts that support overseas learning.
Well, I wonder if the government have these kind of schemes to support students to travel overseas. The government may pay part of the fees, and we have to pay part of the other fees. Now, we may expect the government to pay part of the fees. 記啲字啦，係可以改嘅。
That's a great idea to check for government schemes. We should definitely research that for the proposal. Some countries have youth exchange or educational travel grants. We could also look into whether our school's alumni association offers any bursaries for overseas experiences. Adding these possible funding sources would make our proposal stronger.
Yeah, I think you're right. We should definitely look into government youth development
根據
funds or
DSE 嘅 marking
educational
scheme 咧
bureau
，full mark 係
subsidies,
7分嘅。
including
咁
that
我哋一路
research
答
would
咧，
show the principle
個
we've
後
thought
係
about
後台系
solutions.
統咧係不斷計分
Exactly.
嘅。
And if we can show there's potential external funding, it makes our proposal much more realistic and appealing to the school. Let's make a note to include a section on possible financial support options.
That's a smart thought. I've heard about some government youth development funds that might help. We should definitely research and mention those in our proposal. Yeah, and if we can show there's potential external funding, it makes asking the school for support much more reasonable. We could even suggest the school helps us apply for those schemes. True. We could propose that the school's guidance office helps students apply for these grants as part of the CAMP program. It would be a key support system to include.
Well, if the government won't support us, how about asking companies, such as tourist companies, or even hotels, to support students? We can make videos to record our lives overseas, and use those videos to advertise the tourist companies, or maybe the hotels. We could even use the videos and put them on our YouTube channels or blog posts that help us to advertise ourselves as well.
That's a creative idea. We could offer to create promotional content for local businesses in the host country in exchange for discounted accommodation or activities. Yeah, and it gives companies real, authentic advertising from students. We could even tag them in our social media posts to reach a wider audience. We should definitely include the sponsorship idea in the proposal. It shows we're thinking of practical, win-win solutions to reduce costs.
That's a really smart way to get
大家見
sponsorship.
到啦，呢度
We could
AI 係
promise to
set 咗
feature their
3個，
services in our CAMP vlogs. It's like a modern
因為喺
internship
個
project.
DSE 考試裏邊咧，
Exactly.
我
And
哋
it
係一
adds
個同
another
學
skill
可
building
能對住
element to the
3
CAMP
個
learning
另外
about
嘅
media and
其他
marketing.
同學，或者係
We
一
should
組裏
mention
邊
this
係
partnership
3到
model
4
in the
個人，可能係
benefits
3
section.
或者4個嘅。
That's a really smart way to get sponsorship.
咁對第3個
We
講完
could
咧，就
promise to
到
feature their
翻
services in our
user
CAMP
科，即
vlogs.
係個 student 自己
It's
啦。
like a modern internship project. Exactly, and it adds another skill-building element to the camp learning about media and marketing. We should mention this partnership model in the benefits section.
Well, if those tourist companies or maybe hotels, they won't give us support, we could think about other plans. Say we make videos, travel videos by ourselves and sell those videos. Maybe we could put the brand name of the tourist companies or the hotels on those videos afterwards. See whether there would be any potential buyers.
That's an interesting idea, but selling videos directly might be tough. Instead, we could build a social media following first, then companies might be more interested in sponsoring future content. Yeah, and focusing on creating high quality, educational content about the local environment could attract viewers interested in ecotourism or science. That might appeal to specific sponsors later on. True, it's a long-term strategy. For the proposal, maybe we should focus on more immediate, reliable funding ideas first, like school subsidies and grants, while mentioning content creation as a potential added benefit.
You're right, selling videos directly might not be reliable for funding the trip itself. but creating a professional media portfolio could be a great personal outcome to mention in our proposal. It shows we'd gain real-world skills. Maybe we could propose the camp includes a digital media project. Students could document the scientific fieldwork in local culture, and the school could use those videos for promotional purposes later. That's a good angle. It adds value for the school too. We can frame it as students producing content that showcases the school's global learning initiatives, which might make the principal more willing to support it.
Yeah, but selling videos after the trip won't help pay for it up front. We need funding before we go. Maybe we could propose a pre-camp fundraising project, like making promotional videos for local shops here to raise some initial money. That's true. Or we could suggest the school treats the video making as an official camp assignment. Then, the best videos could be entered into student film competitions, which sometimes have cash prizes. Good point. For the proposal, we should probably focus on securing the main funding through the school and grants first. The video idea can be a bonus outcome that benefits both us and the school's reputation.
Well, apart from fundraising from local companies, such as tourist companies, I know some countries, they allow overseas students to work. Say, in United Kingdom or in Canada, they allow overseas students to work for short time. Maybe we could apply for such a visa.
That's a very practical idea, but for a short summer camp, getting a work visa might be too complicated and time-consuming. 01 What is one country you would like to visit for a summer camp and why?
I would like to visit Egypt. I think Egypt is a very interesting country. I like to see the pyramids. I want to study archaeology. I want to take photos of the Sphinx with me and showcase to my friends and relatives.
02 Would you be interested in applying for an overseas summer camp?
Yes, certainly I do. However, the fees would be very expensive. I need financial support. I don't know how can I get enough money to travel overseas.
Zero 03 What type of overseas camp, example science, leadership, language, adventure, would most interest you?
Language camp would be a very good idea. I want to study foreign language, such as Arabic. Not many Hong Kong students have ever traveled to the Middle East. I think Arabic is an interesting language. Middle East has a very good cultural background. There are lots we can learn from the Middle East. And
04 Why do you think some students would be reluctant to join an overseas summer camp?
the biggest hurdle comes from financial problem. Traveling overseas needs a lot of money. We need money for travel as well as living expense. Besides, security is another concern.
Zero 05 How would you persuade your parents to let you join a camp overseas?
Well, before I go, I have to do more research about the country that I want to go. Besides, I won't go to those countries by myself. I must ask for a few more friends or schoolmates to form a tour, to form a team, to travel with me together. We can help each other during the trip.
06 Should schools use funds to subsidize overseas camps for students?
Well, if the schools can subsidize students, yes, that is very good. However, if every student get financial support, that would be a big problem to the schools. I don't think it is feasible.
(07) Do you think students who have participated in an overseas camp have an advantage in university applications?
For certain subjects, yes. For example, if I want to study archaeology and I've experienced to travel to Egypt, I studied the pyramid or the Sphinx before, and I know something about Arabic language, then that will be a very good advantage for me to study in the university.
(08) Which is more valuable for a student's development, academic study in school or experiential learning abroad?
It very much depends on the subject. Of course, for some scientific studies, for example physics or chemistry or astronomy, you need more academic background to study at school. However, if you want to study, say, geology or archaeology, then personal experience, travel experience would be a very good asset. 嗱，咁時間完咗啦。嗱，你見到啦，Part A 同 Part B 嘅Part B 7分，Part A 同 Part B 都有分數嘅，各有分數，就係跟翻個 DSE 嗰個評分分數7分滿分。咁 overall 亦都係overall 嘅分數都有啦。咁個每條問題咧個 response 都有齊晒，咁係可以 download 咗成個你可以用翻即係剛才嘅 conversation 咧，可以download 落嚟㗎。咁我開出嚟啦，係啦，咁睇翻，咁如果有啲同學咧就話難啦，剛才啲 conversation 英文係唔識嘅話咧，你 download 落嚟再學翻啲英文係可以嘅。完咗之後，你可以再 start new discussion 㗎。